Welcome back to Golf WRX's Winning What's in the Bag, where this week we are taking a look at Robert MacIntyre's Winning What's in the Bag from the 2024 Genesis Scottish Open. This is Robert's second win of the year, also his second win on the PGA Tour. Just about a month ago, he won the RBC Canadian, so Robert's having a great year so far. Congratulations to him. He is kind of got a mix of Titleist and TaylorMade clubs in the bag. So let's go take a look at him. We'll start at the top as we always do, and his driver is the Titleist TSR2. This is a driver I think he switched into just before he won the RBC Canadian. He was playing the TSI before, now playing the TSR2, which is a little bit of the more forgiving model, a little bit more stable on mishits, also launches a little bit higher, spins just a little bit more than the TSR3. He's playing a 9-degree head at a D4 hosel setting. So his SureFit hosel is set to D4, which for lefties, which Robert is the standard setting. So standard loft, standard lie on that head. He has it shafted up with a Graphite design Tour AD DI7X. This is the iconic orange and white shaft that has been on tour for over a decade. Many tour pros are still using it, have used it in the past. It's just one of those legendary smooth shafts that people like. The 7X comes in at about 75 grams. It's mid-high launching with low spin. Now his 3-wood is different. He just changed that up, and he just put in the brand new Titleist GT3. So the GT is the brand new series from Titleist that's available to the tour pros, not yet to us at retail, but I know it's coming soon. It is the 15-degree 3-wood head. The GT3 has a little deeper face, has the adjustable hosel, and the sole actually has a 5-position weight that you can dial in, kind of the bias and feel of the head as well. I'm not sure exactly on his settings. Unfortunately, we didn't have someone there at the Open officially, so I don't know what the settings, but it is a 3-wood head, and it is shafted up with a Graphite design Tour AD 8X, or Tour AD DI 8X, so the 80-gram version of what he's playing in the driver. At the 80-gram level, this actually kind of turns into more of a mid-launch, low-spin shaft. 85 grams, comes in at about 2.9 degrees of torque. His next club in the bag is a TaylorMade Stealth 2 Rescue. So he's playing a TaylorMade Stealth 2 Rescue. This is a 19-degree head, kind of a 3-iron replacement, and it is shafted up with a Graphite design Tour AD DI 105X hybrid shaft. But yes, the Stealth 2 is going to be the bonded hosel version, not adjustable, a little bit bigger profile, a little bit longer heel to toe, a little bit bigger profile when you look down on it, slightly shallower face than, say, the Tour model. Now the shaft, again, 105-gram hybrid shaft for the DI. This one comes in at actually about 109 grams in X-Flex, 2.3 degrees of torque. Mid-launch, low mid-spin. These are actually fairly stout shafts. I've played the 105 before. It is definitely stiffer to flex than some other Graphite design shafts out there. Now we move into his irons, and 4 through 9 iron, he is playing the Titleist CB, or 620 CB. So this is the one-piece kind of forged CB. Now the 4-iron does have a tungsten plug that's co-forged into it, but these are reduced offset, very thin top line, and just a soft forged cavity back. They're shafted up with True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue X100s. So these are, we talk about them, I feel like, every week. About 130 grams, low launch, low spin. Probably one of the most popular shafts out on tour. When we move into irons, he's actually playing a little bit of a mix. The first one is going to be his pitching wedge replacement, which is a Titleist Vokey SM10. This is the 46.10 F grind. So again, I feel like we talk about the F grind every week. The F grind full sole width, great for full shots. And, for a pitching wedge, that's probably what he's doing with that. It is shafted up with a True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue X100 Black Onyx. So this is just a Tour Issue X100, matches his iron shafts, just done in a black finish, kind of a glossy black finish to it. And then we move into his gap wedge. His gap wedge is a Titleist Vokey SM9 50.08 F grind. So the 50 comes in 2 different bounce options, the 08 and the 12. This is the lower bounce version of the F grind. Again, the F sole, full width, good for full shots, but you still can play it around the green. The 50-degree there is shafted up with a True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue X100 Black Onyx as well. So again, matching the irons and matching pitching wedge and gap wedge, especially if you're playing full shots, just gives the set a little bit more consistency in terms of feel. We move into the sand wedge, and the sand wedge is, again, another Titleist Vokey SM9. This one is the 56.10 S grind. So similar to the F grind, it's got a slightly wider sole, but it does have trailing edge relief. That trailing edge relief will allow you to kind of open the face a little bit without the leading edge getting up too high. It'll also kind of help on full shots that sole getting through the turf quicker, as that trailing edge has less kind of a friction there to get through the turf. Now this is shafted up with a True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue S400 Black Onyx. Again, the S400 is kind of iconic when it comes to wedges, and it is going to come in about 132 grams, still kind of lower launching, lower spinning. For his lob wedge, he's playing a Titleist Vokey WedgeWorks 60.08 K grind. Now the K grind is kind of described by Vokey as probably the most forgiving grind they make. Extremely wide sole, a lot of camber on it. It's a great club out of the bunker, tons of float, and that wide sole does help. If you do catch it just a hair fat, it gets through the turf, it doesn't dig, offering kind of better turf interaction for steep swings or softer conditions. And his shaft in this is another True Temper Dynamic Gold Tour Issue S400 Black Onyx. We move into putter, and his putter is something that he changed just, I think, again, a little bit before the RBC Canadian Open, and he's moved on to a TaylorMade Spider Tour. Now, this is this kind of the old school retro-looking one, the one that's got the little kind of wings or jet engine looking on the back corners for stability. They can actually have movable weights in there that you can add to dial in the feel, but a very classic shape putter there, and it actually has a SuperStroke Zenergy pistol grip. Not sure exactly on what size, if it's a 1.0, 2.0 Tour, but it is a Zenergy pistol from SuperStroke. For ball, he's playing the Titleist Pro V1, so the lower launching, lower spinning, slightly softer feeling ball in the Pro V1 family. Extremely common out on tour, probably the #1 ball on tour every week. Now for grips, he does mix it up a little bit. So the grips for those woods, he uses Golf Pride Z-grip cords. So these are the kind of white and black corded grips. I think the firmest grip that Golf Pride currently makes. Very heavy cord, very rough, great for humid conditions or players who sweat a lot and have a lot of moisture on their grip. Still offers a ton of tackiness. And then he'll move to his irons, and he uses the Gripmaster Sewn Swinger leather grip. So this is an actual leather grip. It's got kind of a rubber or plastic kind of base on it, and then leather is wrapped around that and actually stitched together behind. So you actually get a little bit of a reminder on the pads of your fingers where the sewing is, but it's a perforated leather. Does really well. If you've never played leather grips before, they last forever, and they actually have really good tackiness to them. So that is Robert MacIntyre's What's in the Bag from the 2024 Genesis Scottish Open. Congratulations to him on his big second win on the PGA Tour this week. Next week, we have the Open Championship. So it's going to be a big What's in the Bag week next week. Check in and we'll see who wins.